Okay, gang. If you could visit one Canadian city, what would it be and why?
Does it have to be a city I've already visited? Can I go back to one?
No, it's got to be a new one.
Ugh.
It's got to be a new one.
Now we just...
Got to be a new one.
Okay. I have mine.
Okay.
Mine would be St. John's, Nova Scotia.
Newfoundland.
Newfoundland.
Why?
Because I've been to every other one that I've wanted to be to.
But why do you want to...
Oh,
Are you
does
a bit-
Whistler count?
Have you been to Whistler?
No, I've never been to Whistler.
Oh, that
but I've been to
counts then.
Vancouver.
I mean,
which
yeah,
is-
I would... Yeah, that counts. You can say Whistler.
Oh, then I'll go
Yeah.
Whistler. That's my regret. The last time I went to Vancouver a few years ago, I did not go up to Whistler for a couple days or a day at
Wow.
least and see it. So
All right, Kayla,
or anything on Vancouver Island. Anything.
I don't know a lot about Canada.
you just Googled cities in Canada,
No.
didn't you?
No, I was making sure this was in Canada. I'm going to be the very basic person and say Banff.
Wow.
I've been there several times.
Okay.
It looks really pretty.
beautiful.
That's the only city that I know.
You got to go off season though. There's 2 times to go off season. Obviously, any time in the winter is unbelievable because there's not a lot of ski resorts in Banff, so you can see a lot of this beautiful whiteness of Banff. But the summer's good too. But don't go between June 1st and September 1st.
Why not?
It's
Busy?
crawling with humans.
Oh.
It's bad.
Wow.
Well, it's
I
a
was
very
there-
touristy city.
I was there in May and it was pretty bad, but it wasn't that bad.
It looks so pretty.
It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Everywhere you turn, it's gorgeous there.
Wow. All right. Well,
I could give you
good,
a bunch of cities to visit. Ottawa's one of my favorites.
never been to Ottawa.
It's
See,
it's like going to London.
if
I've
I
never been to Canada.
It's gorgeous.
if I had to pick a city that I hadn't been to yet, that's fine with me because I've already knocked 2 off my list, and I don't really care to, other than the Brick, I don't really care to go back to Edmonton.
No,
And
Edmonton is. It's like Maple Grove.
Like
dude.
I'm
It's
not
just-
really,
it's a giant suburb.
and I really don't feel like going back to Winnipeg.
No.
So I think
Oh.
I'm going to go with Kelowna.
Oh, the
I'm going to go with
Okotoks.
Kelowna.
That would be a really
Yeah,
good pick.
yeah.
That's a really good pick.
I want to go to Kelowna, and it's kind of cheating, but Montreal.
I don't really have any interest in going to French, and I speak French, and I
just
just
wanna-
interested in going to Montreal. If I'm going to go speak French, I would just go to
Can you
Paris.
speak French to welcome us into the show? I was just testing.
I'll
your
do that
knowledge.
next time. I'll do it next time.
Okay.
I can do an entire.
Je m'appelle.
I could do an entire opening in French if I had
Mm.
5 minutes to come up with it. Yeah.
Je
Okay.
m'appelle Tony.
That's very good.
Yes, oui.
Oui.
No. Je m'appelle Tony.
You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. Cause it get cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Need to stay up out the streets if you can't take.
Welcome to 10 Minutes. I'm Tony Scott. How you doing today, Peter?
I'm great. It's the first day of the girls' high school state tournament, so I'm in a good mood. Weather kind of sucks, so that puts me in a worse mood. But if I had to guess, I'd say my teeter-totter's at about even right now.
I'd say my teeter-totters is almost as high as you can get.
You never played on a teeter-totter, did you?
I did. I didn't like it that much. It was kind of
What?
a yes or no type of experience. You were up or you were down, I didn't really care for
It's
it.
a pretty succinct description of a teeter-totter.
Yeah, I didn't really care for it. I need a little bit more stimulation than up or down. It's kind of lame, to be honest with you. But I would say if there was a proverbial up, I'm up. We were covering 2 girls' state tournaments today. We're
Yeah.
rolling out our boys' high school players of the year today. You guys just killed all of our previews for the girls' state tournament. I mean,
That was fun.
15 questions, 60 seconds, state previews, unknown players. I mean, we are just giving tons and tons of great content. So hats off to you, Peter,
I am exhausted.
on that. Yeah, I'm excited.
My content tank is tapped out before the boys' high school
Mine's
state tournament.
full right now. I think this is great. We're just keep pumping it out, and I'm excited for the next 4 or 5 days. We have section boys coming up, the girls' state tournament coming up. We're going to have an hourly program for youth and high school hockey all day Saturday. We'll have region announcements on Sunday. Our regional guide will be pumping out teams and names and stuff like that this weekend. So it's a content heavy time of year for us.
Heavy. That's one way to put it.
Speaking of content heavy, let's talk about some results from last week. There were so many results, especially in northern Minnesota. I'm going to rip through a few of the highlights that I saw that came across our desk or while putting together our show for the day. Like Pee Wee Bees, Moorhead, number 1 team in the state. They beat Brainerd in a nail-biter 3-2. 12B Fergus, we talked about them last week on the show. They knocked off Brainerd Little Falls 10-4. They're going to regions. And then we had invitational tournaments as well. The 10A tournament over in Eden Prairie. I believe Lakeville won that one. They're the new number 1 team in the state for 10As. And what else do I got here? Oh, another 10A score. Centennial Spring Lake Park wins District 10. Elk River wins 10B. So we have some 10A and 10B champions out of the District 10 last week. So their season is all but over. Kind of sad to end the season early there for those guys. We'll get to score days at the end of the show. Oh. We're going to pick our final 4 and our champions for the Fargo International. We'll talk about that tournament in a little bit.
A tournament I still haven't seen.
Come on.
I haven't seen it at all.
Okay.
I've never seen a Squirt
If you took the Squirtacular, so it was a big block of cheese, and you put it in a cheese grater. That's exactly what it is. Like Colby, probably Colby Jack.
No, you wouldn't grate Colby Jack though.
What would you?
It's too waxy. You can't grate Colby Jack.
What would you grate?
Cheddar. I would grate the Merlot blend from.
Oh my gosh! Here we go.
Sartori.
Of course. So it's a lot like our tournament is all those teams, 60, 80, whatever teams, in one building. Theirs is spread out all over Fargo and West Fargo.
That sounds better.
It's better and it's worse all at the same time. It's a little more tame than ours because ours is all in one place. But it's still, it's the pin trading, it's the great competition, it's the memories, it's the hotels, it's all the things that our Squirtacular is. But 3 hours northwest of the Twin Cities. I love it. It's a great event. It's kind of what launched YHH today. It was out of an article that I wrote 12 years ago, 3 days before the All Hockey Hair came out. So we had this big article. We had All Hockey Hair. It was kind of proved the model that there's people out there looking for original hockey content in Minnesota, and that's kind of what we've become, don't you think, Peter?
Well, I'm reading your description in your article that you wrote. 12 years ago, my family spent the weekend chasing my 10-year-old son to Fargo.
Yes.
So you're trying to say that he went to Fargo without you, and then you had to catch up to him on
No,
I-94?
he was. We were with him.
3 nights of parties in the same hotel with A and B families.
That was the best part.
Eating out, pin trading, and exciting hockey all weekend prompted my son to say, "I wish every day was like Fargo." And you said, "Don't we all, son?" And I think that's very sweet.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a really fun. It was like, this is youth hockey at its greatest 12 years ago was in the Fargo International, and it's still a great event. I think Matt Jasper from our staff will be up there collecting some video, so we might get a little video montage of the weekend. I'm excited about that. Jack Kupich will be covering the semis and finals on Sunday morning.
Oh, so you did. You talked him into it. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Every year he's into it. So I'm excited for our coverage. We'll get to Fargo in a little bit. Before we do that, I want to talk about regions. We have a regional guide, which will be coming out this week. We'll let everyone know who's in what region, where they're going to regions, and then as the teams pluck off regional spots this weekend in districts, we'll be adding those teams to the regional guide, and you can go in there and take it all in and figure out where we're going.
Take it all in. Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you tell me where some of the tougher regions are going to be? Regions always confuse me.
Why?
Always. I don't know.
Because of the sporadicness of it?
Well, there's just so many different locations and so many different teams. And, you start the day with, and you and I have both done this. You're on the road. You're in your car by 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And you might be at 6 different rinks throughout the day.
I'll be at 3 or 4.
And by the time I get to my third rink, I have no idea what day it is. I have no idea who's playing. I don't know what level it is. I just know that I am at some random rink that I've never been to. So I want you to tell me where some of the good games are going to be to eliminate some of that confusion.
All right. So thank you for asking me that. So I'm going to, because Bantam AA and PBAA and the Metro doesn't get decided until Sunday, I'm going to highlight some cool stuff about Bantam AA and Bantam Pee Wee AA in the north. So the Bantam AA's will be in East Grand. We obviously know that Moorhead is pretty much a shoe-in to go. And we also like Hermantown a lot from over in District 11. But I think East Grand Forks might have something to say about that as well. They've gone from single A to double A this year. I think that's a really good team. I like that tournament. Duluth East in both Pee-wees and Bantams have played a lot better the second half season, just like their high school program. So, yeah, I think there's 3 or 4 good teams in Bantam AA and East Grand that weekend. Pee-wee AA will be in Brainerd. Tom Kupich, not Jack, will be in Brainerd covering that one for us.
Does he know that yet?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
He's already agreed to that, and he's agreed to cover a section final for us as well. So Kupich coming out of the woodwork for us. He'll be covering that. Pee-wee AA again feels like a broken record. Hermantown and Moorhead are the 2 top teams, two top ranked teams, but East Grand Forks is a nice little Pee-wee AA team, and so is Duluth. It's got a nice Pee-wee AA team. So I think that those regionals will be pretty fun to see.
What a banner year for Duluth hockey.
It's been a great year.
It's been a great year for Duluth hockey.
Fantastic. So those are ones there for the band we'll call the double A's, but there's a 12A is the one where it really gets interesting for me because the East region has Minnetonka and Woodbury, the number 1 and number 2 team in the state. Great. They'll probably make it to state. But we thought that last year with Wayzata. Remember that great Wayzata team? They got knocked off in the play-in game by Stillwater in the back door.
Yeah.
Which was very disappointing to me. So no guarantee that so I think Minnetonka and Woodbury will play each other in the regional championship, but don't forget about Edina in the back door, right? So whoever beats Edina is going to probably make it to state, but whoever loses, they got to come back and play Edina in the backdoor game. No, thank you. Here's another one. Thief River Falls has had a great season. We're going to find out how good Thief River Falls is in North 12A, right? They have a really gaudy record. Did you know that Hibbing just beat number 5 in the state, Grand Rapids Greenway, in districts last week?
I didn't.
So Hibbing is the number 1 seed in the north.
Okay.
So it's Hibbing, Grand Rapids Greenway, and Thief River Falls. That should be a good one. Here's another good one. The West Regional has Alex, who is a runner-up in our Dangle Fest. Remember Maya Dutton and Franklin Ellingson, that team?
Yeah.
They're coming down to the Twin Cities because they're in District 15. They got to square off with Andover and Centennial Spring Lake Park. So only 2 of those teams are going to get to go. So I think the reason I say all this is South region, and please, if you're from the South, don't come to my office and hit me. The South region is districts 9, 4, and 5. So this is the St. Cloud region, the Western Minnesota region, and the Southern regions. What that does is it clouds up the East and the West regions this
That means
year.
you're going to stick. Oh,
yeah, so there's going to be some teams. But I also think there'll be 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 seeds from the Metro that don't make their traditional regional. They're going to get sent off to another regional in the South.
Are they
to
doing that
fill
to
it
maintain
out.
balance?
No, it'll just so they can get them into a regional. They won't. What they should do is they should send Woodbury or Minnetonka. They should send Andover or Centennial Spring Lake Park to those regions. Do you see what I'm saying? So then now we can have a true state tournament with the top 8 teams or close 8 teams in the state. I don't run Minnesota hockey. I used to be involved for 3 years. I think the way we did it back then was the right way to do it. That's been changed, and we're never going back. But it is worth discussion. I think I've covered them all.
Wow, that just put my brain in a blender.
I have covered them all. We are ready to make some Fargo picks.
All right, I can see the snow falling through a crack in the
I know.
jerseys.
Hang on, baby. This is it. Fargo.
Kayla, do you want to link up our cars when we go home? Kayla and I live.
Choo-choo train?
Kayla and I essentially take the same route.
You do?
And I'm kind of hoping that maybe she would be interested in linking our cars.
Sure.
So that if one of us dies, just like both of us die.
Oh gosh,
That
do we
would
have
probably good for YHH.
Why
Tony
would
wouldn't like
that. Would not be good.
He would have to run his own podcast.
And turn the camera on
Oh no!
and clip everything.
See, everyone
And have
listening, he only cares about us for our work ethic.
That's all I care about.
Honestly, I kind of
It's really-
prefer that.
That's all I care about. That's all I
All
care
right.
about.
You want to do some Fargo? Actually, you know what's funny about Fargo?
Yeah.
My mother and I were on our way up there to visit my grandmother. This was a long time ago. And my mom, who's the world's safest driver, very 10 and 2, very 5 under the speed limit, hit a patch of ice on 94, and we spun out just outside of Barnesville
Really?
and ended up in the ditch.
That's
I mean,
scary.
we got out.
That's exactly where it kind of ends too.
What?
Once you clear Barnesville, I think you're safe.
Well, yeah, but it
On
was
94.
but
That's where the
just-
treachery is between Fergus and Barnesville.
where there's no trees and
Yeah.
there's wind that
It's
just
terrible.
whips through
Terrible.
the 94 corridor.
The second Friday in November, second Thursday in November. I know that road all too well.
A day that will live in infamy.
Yes. Okay. Let's do this. So Fargo this year they finally got it right. They had like 68 teams last year. I don't get what they did with like these random other teams that didn't make the final 64 or whatever it was last year. Now they've got it right. They have 64 teams.
Okay.
There's 16 pools of 4. You play your way out of the pool. I have listed on our website. Go check it out under Squirt A 10U picks, rankings.
Squirt
and-
/U10 rankings and Fargo picks.
Thank you. That's a story that's doing quite well this week on our website. And it also has my picks for the 16 pool winners.
Yeah.
And then the Sweet 16 who's going to win, quarterfinals going to win, semifinals, and I go chalk with the number 1 team in the state, Woodbury. No spoiler there. Peter,
Yes.
you saw my 16. Did you respect at least my 16?
No, I did.
Okay.
I'm not. Why would you say it like that? Like I just wouldn't.
Because
respect
I've gotten
your
some
16.
disrespect out of my 16 from the text messages and DMs this week.
I don't know. I don't know if picking Woodbury is that outlandish.
No, I'm talking about just the 16 pool winners. I thought there was a few out there that were tricky. I think I listed them too, didn't I?
So is
think
this
I did.
this is where they're at already?
No, that's where I predict them to be.
Oh wow, you're going
that starts
all the way.
starts on Friday.
Okay, then I understand a little bit of the animosity.
Yeah, I just picked them. But I thought there were some tough matches. Oh, here it was. Duluth had a tough one. Cloquet and Blaine, they had tough. And Edina White, those had 4. And I talked about who those would be in the article, who had some tough first round. They didn't have an easy route to the final 16. But it's good. It's really good. Who do you got? Who is your final 4?
My final 4.
I think it's crazy. You have Jefferson in the final 4.
I do. I have Chaska Chan, Duluth, Blaine, and Jefferson.
Okay, so you have Blaine beating Woodbury
I do.
on Saturday.
I do. I want to
night.
throw in a little spice.
You know, scores-wise, Blaine has been top 10-ish. I keep them in because I saw how great they were in their one game against Woodbury that I broadcasted. I was like, wow, these kids have talent. They have they have a heart. They have everything that I love them team. They were my favorite team in the tournament, just the way they played and the way they carried themselves. That was my team that I kind of fell in love with. So I love your pick there, getting them to the Final Four. And then obviously I'm a Bloomington resident, and
Seeing
I like that
Jefferson-
pick, Jefferson.
Jefferson knocking off Chaska Chan a couple of weeks ago. How do
Yeah.
you ignore that?
I know, but they also got beat by one of the Edinas 10-1. So I don't know what happened there.
Maybe they had the chicken pox.
Yeah, maybe. So who do you see in that? I think the best game lining up in that Sweet 16 on Saturday morning is Moorhead and East Grand Forks.
That's a
Holy
nice game.
smokes! That's 2 top 5 teams in the Sweets in the Final 5. Years ago, Peter, just so you know,
Years
if
ago.
that was the pool, I would have written like 1,000 words on what a ripoff it was for those 2 teams to have to play each other that early
Are you saying
in the
you've
tournament.
mellowed?
I've mellowed.
Okay.
I'm about as mellow as when Gavin Thorson told me Metallica was his go-to jam, and I went crazy on that. I thought that was great.
Metallica!
Yeah, I remember Gavin when he was a Squirt. He and Cooper Conway would just shred other Squirt A teams. Shred them. It was good. So you got Jefferson,
Yep.
Blaine,
Yep.
Duluth. I can't
Yep.
argue with Duluth. Duluth's would have a really tough route. If they would have to beat Edina Green, they would have to get out of their pool. I just don't think that route is where it's at. I can't remember. Who did I have in my Final Four? I had Edina Green. I just think they're too deep. Chaska Chan, I think they're going to rebound. And I got Woodbury and Eastside. I got Eastside beating Moorhead Red. I have Jefferson, but I got them losing to Andover. I just think the Huskies too tough.
You don't have the faith.
No, I don't.
Semifinal winners. I've got Chaska Chan over Duluth. I picked Chaska Chan in the Squirtacular.
Yep.
Stormhawks proved me
and
correct.
You won.
And I won.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got Jefferson over Blaine.
Okay. And so you have Jefferson and Chaska Chan?
Yep.
And I have Edina Green and Woodbury. And I picked Woodbury to win. I think they will carry through. Peter's making a pick. I've gone through all the Squirtacular champions and the Squirt International champions dating back to 2014. Only one team, I believe, has pulled that off, and
Who is it?
That was the Kukkonen, Faber, Thomas. That group won.
Well,
it's nice.
It's nice that they won both because they didn't win anything else during their youth careers.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, they beat the same team in all of their tournament championships. No, White Bear Lake. I'm going to read you some of the names on that White Bear Lake team.
Oh,
yes,
Gallatin,
Layton Road. I don't think Owen Gallatin was on
Owen
that team.
Gallatin. What about Grady Gallatin?
No, I don't think he was on that team.
Okay.
I don't know if Owen was on that team, but it was Layton Road and this kid named Chaz Lucius and his little brother named Cruz Lucius, and that line would go against Janicki, Kukkonen, and Faber. It was some of the most dynamic squirt A hockey you will ever see.
Can you imagine, if you would for a moment, if Lucius and Lucius had ended up at White Bear Lake High School?
Oh.
If that core group,
oh my!
And I'm sure if you went down the list, you could probably find some defectors to Hill Murray.
Yes.
If that whole group had stuck together, do you think that the drought would have ended in terms of
first round
state tournament losses? Oh yeah.
What? They would have been in the finals. Yeah. What if? That's a big, gigantic what if.
I'm being Elmo right now.
Yeah, that was good. That was a really good take. Really subtle.
Thanks. I love just
subtle troll there. I like that.
I loved it.
So you're going for the double. You're going for Chaska Chan. I'm going Woodbury. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we'll have staff up there checking it out. It's going to be awesome. All right, let's wrap up the show.
Fargo's a cool place. There's a bunch of Buffalo Wild Wings around there.
There is.
There's some Chili's, maybe an Applebee's.
All right, let's do some Boom Roasted. Do you have one? Because I have mine.
I'm going to let you go first.
Mine goes out to the reschedulers, the people who want to reschedule everything due to snow. I get it. Tomorrow is going to be a washout. I think the entire state has tomorrow, Thursday, as a washout. Good with that. But people who are, doomers of this world, this is Minnesota. Drive slow. Take your time. Be smart. Be safe. There's my 2 cents with this.
Well,
how about you?
Boom
Roasted.
I thought people unfairly attacked the state high school league as if the state high school league really has a choice. We're going girls sections, girls state, boys sections, boys state. When were they supposed to reschedule the opening round of the girls state tournament? When were they supposed to do that?
Yeah, the Wild.
Where were they supposed to do that?
The Wild are take all this time away from their own building to let the kids play.
Unreal.
It's not easy. Not easy. All right, you got a game. You got a boom?
Boom.
Are you jumping on my boom?
What were some of the booms that I just kind of shouted out during the beginning?
None of them were nice.
None of them were.
None of them passed
Kayla,
muster.
was there anything that I could say during the episode?
Probably not.
Probably not.
All right, let's move on to
What are you
game
gonna
pucks. I have you and I together have built a little, we'll call it a campaign.
For real gravy.
No, we have not. A campaign for parents, fathers, mothers, whatever, guardians. Take your daughters, take your sons to the state tournament this weekend. After Thursday afternoon, you can take your daughter to a state tournament. And here's why I keep pushing this so hard. You're going to see great hockey. You're not going to be crowded too much. You're not going to be it's not going to be overly expensive to go to St. Paul.
I think it's $20 for
and I think a kid will go to this game, see this tremendous atmosphere, see this tremendous hockey, and it will fuel them to play and continue to play the game. If you love the game, your daughter loves the game, do us all a favor. Take them to the state tournament. You will not be disappointed.
The players playing in the girls' state tournament, you watch the boys' state tournament, and although they might not look like it, you can tell that some players' minds are already on, okay, I got to make my flight to Amarillo tomorrow because the Wranglers expect me in camp after the high school season is over. A lot of the boys players have something guaranteed waiting for them after high school, whether it's Division III, Division I, or a junior team, whether that's Tier 1, Tier 2, or Tier 3 juniors. For so many of these girls players, this is it. This is the pinnacle of their hockey career. They lay it all out on the ice in these games. So for a state that pounds its chest as hard as we do while being the state of hockey, prove it. Go to the girls' high school state tournament.
I agree. I think that it's interesting that women will complain that people don't go watch their games. Well, here's a chance, if you're a mother, is to buck that trend and take your daughter to a state tournament game. Fill that building. Make it worthwhile. Make it something. Make it special, because when your daughter gets there, it'll be even more special because it just keeps growing. It keeps growing by 10% every year. 8,000 fans, 8,800 fans, 9,600 fans. By the time your 10-year-old daughter gets there, it'll be 15,000 fans. We just got to keep growing this game, got to keep growing it for the girls and making it special. You down with that?
Yeah, I think we can end on that. That's a nice
I think
note.
we can end on that.
And a game puck to the 16 girls high school players who so graciously spared myself a few minutes of their time. Thank you.
Awesome. For Peter Odney and producer Kayla Jo Franz, I'm Tony Scott. Thanks for tuning in.
You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. Cause it get cold.